Mainstream media like MSNBC and CNN are hemorrhaging viewers and destroying their businesses as people turn their backs on the outlets in record numbers following Trump's landslide victory. MSNBC's most prominent hosts all saw a collapse in ratings. MSNBC's most prominent hosts all saw a collapse in their numbers, according to Nielsen ratings. Joy Reid down 54.6%. Ari Melba down 49.6%, Chris Hayes down 47.2%, Alex Wagner down 43.6%, and Morning Joe down 39.6%. Commentator Kevin Posebik from conservative news outlet Human Events confirmed this, saying MSNBC is collapsing.
We're putting together the numbers right now because I've been looking at the ratings. Do you have the ratings?
Yeah, Joy Reid is down 54.6%.
Oh,
at the top of the list.
Oh no,
they're collapsing.
Total.
So much collapse.
The mass exodus from MSNBC is unsurprising after the bizarre commentary that has taken place over the election period, such as Joy Reid urging her viewers to shun family members who voted for Trump.
Do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not.
And Sky News host Rita Panahi exposed another bizarre MSNBC commentator.
Now it's time for Lefties Losing It. The post-election analysis is underway, and we've talked about Republicans being blessed with some of the dumbest political opponents on God's green earth. And this next lefty is no exception. Here is Vanity Fair and MSNBC's Molly Jong Fast blaming not just misogyny, but institutional misogyny and sexy images for Kamala's downfall.
He leaned into a lot of the institutionalized misogyny as a way to try to neutralize her effectiveness. So she's a super effective speaker, really galvanized voters in a really important way. And what the Trump campaign did, and I think ultimately they were able to, was they flooded the internet with over-sexualized images of her. They spread lies about her romantic history.
That is so completely divorced from reality. It's unintentionally funny. Did she actually claim that Kamala is a really effective speaker? The word salad queen who can't utter a coherent sentence to save herself? But Molly wasn't done yet. Listen to this bit of bat poop crazy analysis where she claims that Kamala's own campaign, which was hyper-focused on securing the female vote, was actually anti-women.
And you'll remember, he ran this bros campaign, right? A campaign that was largely sort of anti-woman in a way.
Look, it's only a matter of time before Molly joins the other crazy cat ladies and cuts her hair on camera to protest Trump and democracy.
The dire ratings are leading MSNBC's parent company Comcast to sell the network. Commentator Dave Rubin mocked the network for its ratings disaster, saying the way people consume media has now changed, and joked that he would buy MSNBC.
Live show, so our hour and 15-minute show, we had 608,000 views on YouTube, which I don't even promote YouTube, and we had 131,000 on Rumble, so that's almost 800,000 views. That's not including any of the clips or anything else, and they would kill for those numbers. I am not, well, I guess I'm saying it as a pat on the back to my staff and that we're doing something good here, but the point is the thing has changed, and there's breaking news just in the last half hour that NBC Comcast is planning to sell MSNBC next week. You know what? I'm gonna buy it. I'll throw in, what are they selling it for? What if I bought MSNBC and then I made them all work with me and do you dance for me, lady, blonde lady. Elon, that's hilarious. Elon should buy it, put them all in a jail cell, a padded cell, and just see what happens. How much could they possibly be selling that worthless piece of shit for? I'll throw in 500 grand. 500 grand, I'll buy MSNBC. All right, why not? Let's see what happens.
And it's not only MSNBC that is suffering a ratings slump. CNN is reportedly looking to offload hundreds of staff members, including some of their biggest stars, as they struggle to keep the lights on as ratings tank. Commentator Charlie Kirk said, Breaking, CNN to fire stars, hundreds of staff as the network's ratings continue to tank. And this commentator said, Comcast is putting MSNBC up for sale. CNN just announced massive layoffs coming. Maybe the new owners will figure out that lying non-stop to your audience is a lousy business model. But it seems as though some hosts on CNN are struggling to take responsibility.
But I want to recognize that for all the flaws of the mainstream media, and we have a lot of them, it's not just the media's fault that trust has been declining for decades. It's also decades of attacks by politicians.
That is the main issue, is that, it could be that the Washington Post is endorsing candidates, or it could be that there are millions of voters who believe lying politicians who tell them lies, knowing that they are. That could be the problem too.
The Australian's associate editor, Lloyd, says the media have been fed a dose of humble pie after Trump's decisive victory.
Now, Graham, a really great article in The Australian from your colleague Chris Mitchell today. He writes that the American media became activists against Trump and that left them unable to read the situation well. But this part in particular was great. It said the left liberal US media got Trump and the electorate wrong for 9 years, but last week showed little sign of understanding why. This column was reminded of the sullen faces of the ABC on election night in 2019 when Liberal leader Scott Morrison beat Labor's Bill Shorten. Graham, what is it about, particularly the lefty media? Why do they always misread the play?
Well, it's the echo chamber effect. So if you never speak to anybody who doesn't share your view, you are absolutely astonished when you're presented with the fact that most people actually don't agree with you. I think the first Trump presidency showed how disconnected the media was from what was really happening out in mainstream America. They didn't learn that lesson. They didn't reconnect with America. They just set about demonising Donald Trump. And I think they've been fed another dose of humble pie. Whether they will bring themselves to acknowledge it this time, only time will tell.